Good morning, Bill Thorpe.
Is it really only Wednesday? Is it too early for a nap? I need a nap.
Yeah, it should be a holiday week. I think that's what's hitting everybody right now is,
Yes, my man.
is
Absolutely.
that it's just we should be winding down.
Yes, we should be. Yeah, this is not. Yeah.
Well,
We
a
should be
week
getting ready
from
for it.
today, you'll be doing the Peter Boyle's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Yes. The Peter Boyle's Imaginary Thanksgiving Day Parade is returning next Wednesday. I'm going to be here with Pete. Jeff is going to have the day off. And yeah, I don't know how you worked that one out, but tip of the hats for you, sir, figuring that one out. We will, however, publicly, right now, I will extend the invitation that we would love to have you join us at some point with your float sighting from the parade route. So I'm going to give you a little bit of homework, start prepping on your parade, sir, and we'll talk about what time would make sense for you. And of course, I'm not going to ask you to get up in the 6 o'clock hour. We'll slot you in late.
Let you guys do that. It's always a ton of fun, and there's always a lot to talk about. So.
Oh yeah, this year there are a lot of targets this year, so this will be fun. This should be a lot of fun. Yeah.
Parade. Well, we've got a lot to talk about today. The Epstein files being essentially released via Congress at this point. It's on the president's desk to sign, but one guy. Do you see there was one guy that voted no?
Yeah, the one guy. Like, why would you be that guy?
Just to be the contrarian. He just the out of all of Congress on what is just a wildly hot political topic.
I got a question for you on that one.
No vote.
Yeah, I got a question on that one. You're more plugged into the type of appearances and things on these votes and politics than I am. And I want your opinion on why it took so long to get to a release. And then when they voted on it, there were almost no votes. If everybody was a yes,
right.
Why did it take so long? Then that's the reason.
Our government wasn't open.
Well, even before that, though, there were a lot of machinations beforehand, and you never got an overwhelming yes. We absolutely got to do this, because if you had this many people in the House willing to vote yes, this should have taken 5 minutes. So even before the government, and I have a feeling of, and this is what I'm looking at, is I'm looking at the idea of the Iraq invasions and things like that, where that vote politically, you didn't want to be the person running in the next cycle that voted against it. And I'm wondering if that's what played into this, because again, if you can get everybody but one person in the House to vote for something, that should have taken 5 minutes.
Correct.
That should have been done months ago. Yeah.
Correct.
So what do you think? What's your impression?
To your point, the Oppo advertising that would be launched against you for not supporting it was wild. It was one of those things where it just needed to get a little bit over the line, and then once it did, well, of course, everybody was going to support it, right? Like,
yeah, of course. Why would I ever not do that?
Not? Because you could just imagine the ad against you.
Yeah,
exactly. Ms. Smith voted no against exposing child predators. And you're just like, oh my goodness.
Which again shows how ineffective in some ways that our government is at its base function, because when the vote actually happened, only one person voted against it. Yet for months they were like, oh, we can't do this. Oh, we can't. How hard was it to get the list of signatures in order to mandate the vote? That was like pulling teeth. And now it's like, we all vote for it.
Well, I mean, it was like 5 days ago. They couldn't even agree to pay the airline.
Yep.
The
air traffic controllers. Not at all.
They couldn't even put that together.
Yeah, couldn't figure out how to pay military.
So you're surprised that they're incompetency?
No, I'm just surprised that it is on so much public display at times. That they're like, hey, look how incompetent we are. This is just one of those examples.
Think about our country's history, where like my favorite movie, one of my very favorite movies of all time is Lincoln, where they're battling to get the 23rd Amendment passed, right? Could you imagine anyone getting elected today that's like in support of slavery?
Oh, yeah.
But they barely got it across the line with a single vote. We went to war, like it split this country up, and now imagine anybody being actually against it and having any power in this country.
Oh, I know.
So we have weird moments.
Yeah, we do. And this is one of them.
Right.
We'll talk about it more.
So we've got a lot to talk about with the Epstein release. Did you see this video of the bleach being dumped in the food?
I did.
Was that wild?
That is weird.
We'll talk about why Denver officials had to dump bleach in an unlicensed taco vendor's food. That's a wild video going viral here in Colorado. Denver home prices. I don't have good news for you on that. We'll get into that in the 7 o'clock hour. And then don't give up the ship. This ad campaign, including Jason Crow. Bro, did you see George Brockler respond to this?
No, I didn't.
Whoa.
No, what did he say?
He was spicy.
Yeah.
We'll get into that. This audio of progressive liberal, I don't even want to call them liberals anymore because liberals implies liberty and progressives don't. They're not for liberty at all. This video of all these soldiers, these progressive soldiers and politicians talking about disobeying orders. Are they calling for sedition? We'll get into that in the 8 o'clock hour. And then CDLs for illegals. You'll be shocked at how many of them are out there. We'll get to all of this and more. It's a wild Wednesday, and we're kicking it off. By the way, Bill, went to the Denver Republican happy hour last night.
Oh, how
Got to hang out with those people.
It was like you and 3 people? I'm kidding. Yeah. I'm teasing.
Yeah. Well, one of them was one of your friends.
That is crazy.
Who used to ride around in the cars with you.
Yeah, that is
so
crazy.
I paid
from
her
high school.
some good money for all the details.
I'm sure
what Bill was like in high school. She thought you were the coolest guy in the world.
She was fantastic.
Got into all punk music. Her name's Jen.
Yeah, Jen's
but
wonderful.
When I go out into public and go to events, everybody wants to talk about Bill.
When I was much more socially active, there was a joke that we could never go anywhere without me running into someone that I know. And as far as that goes, I mean, this is, again, 20s and 30s when I'm much more socially active. There's a point where, okay, there's a long story that precedes this, but let's just say that we end up in Golden, Colorado at a 7-Eleven or a Circle K at about 3:30 in the morning. And we're in there, and the door opens, and someone goes, "Bill?" And my friend's trying to go, "Seriously?" I'm like, yeah, sorry about that. Yeah.
I mean, it's wild. I went to GQ Barbecue. Jason Ganal, Heidi Ganal, love their food, owned by the Ganals. Best barbecue in town.
Oh, it's fantastic.
And I was having lunch there, and one of the cooks comes out. He's like, "Are you Jeff from Jeff and Bill?" Yeah. I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "It's Big Sexy."
Yeah, my buddy Brian.
Brian.
Yes. He's awesome. He's such a good dude.
So he's like, "I'm friends with Bill. I can't even sit quietly at a restaurant and eat."
No. I have permeated your life in ways you're uncomfortable with.
So you'll love this. This is what a Denver Republican happy hour is like. Let me describe it for
please.
you. Okay, this guy, I think his name's Brad, comes in with printouts of the Denver city budget. And he and I sit down and do an analysis of the fees generated by the Denver airport on landing fees versus parking fees.
Oh, wow.
And then we look at the total consolidated debt payments by the city of Denver on their 1,300 municipal bonds.
Wow.
That's what we did. We did
math.
Debt analysis.
And that's why there are only 3 people at the parties.
Right.
Where you go to the Democrat parties and someone comes over and he goes, "Look, I draw this person here. If I do this, his clothes come off." And you're like, it's one of those flip books. I'm like, hang on here.
It was a ton of fun. Tip of the hat to Hugo Chavez-Ray.
Oh, that's nice.
Who wanted to talk all about you, your friend Jen, Brad, who did budget analysis with me. It was fantastic. So, had a great time with the Denver Republicans yesterday. All right,
that's wonderful.
Let's now get to news and comment with Blake Olson.
Blake Olson.
Blake Olson, news and comment. Good Wednesday morning, 35 and clear in Denver. Expecting a high of 61 today. Another beautiful day. News sponsored by Pastor Camp Heating and Air Conditioning at 303-777-1234 to learn more about special savings opportunities on Lennox equipment. Our top story, the Senate has approved a measure compelling the release of the Epstein files without a vote. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer successfully passed unanimous consent, which means the bill will automatically pass once it's delivered to the Senate from the House, likely at some point today. DJT expected to sign the measure. Now, Hakeem Jefferies being exposed. Careful what you wish for. Josh Hawley last night on Fox News Channel.
Yeah, how about that? I mean, this is why the Democrats they're going to regret, I think, ever playing around with this, and they're going to regret embracing transparency, though I'm glad they did. They thought, I think, that the files would never become public. They thought this was all a game. Well, guess what? They're going to get their wish. They are going to become public. The president's going to sign the bill. The president's been right all along on this. He said months ago, make public everything you can that's not classified. Now Congress is finally going to do it. And I think we're going to learn a lot, Jesse. A lot of people suddenly are going to get real reticent to talk about Epstein, whether it's Hakeem Jefferies, whether it's Larry Summers, that Harvard president you mentioned a second ago who worked for Barack Obama. We're going to find out a lot about a lot of folks because you know what else is in this bill that just passed tonight? It's got to be a searchable database so any American can go in and read the files for themselves.
So Jeffries invited Epstein to his house for dinner after everything was exposed. This is absolutely crazy, isn't it, Jeff? I mean, you have been in politics for so long.
Well, yeah, so a few things on politics. It doesn't always attract the best people.
You got that right.
I think history has demonstrated this, although you could say that the church hasn't always attracted the best people either. So
good point.
It's full of sinners and broken people. It's like the world needs a savior. But
imagine that.
Yeah, you're going to find that ultimately what people that reach the upper echelons of politics are interested in is money. And guess who had it?
Yeah, that's
Jeffrey
right.
Epstein.
That is correct. You are so correct. Just follow the money. And
and I do fundraising too. And you just, it's not like you do a deep analysis on the person's police records or anything like that. You get a list from your fundraising team. And it says, this is who you need to call. And you call them and you ask them for support for whatever you're doing. But in this case, it seems like if Jeffrey Epstein had been convicted, which is, I think, had already taken place at this time, right, by 2013. Had he been convicted by 2013?
I don't think so.
No?
By 2013?
That was when the email from Jefferies,
now
Hakeem
it's all
Jefferies.
meshing.
Right.
2013, I'm trying to figure.
When was Epstein first?
What year are we in now? Okay, so I don't think so.
Let's see. When was Epstein first convicted? Was 2008?
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He served 13 months for a sentence before being released in 2009. So, yeah.
Wow, I was way off. It's just been lingering so long.
Well, I know, exactly. So if this thing's been around for that long, and then he's emailing in 2013, 5 years? Hakeem Jefferies, 5 years after the dude had been convicted.
Wow.
I don't know.
Yeah. There are a lot of people involved. So Lauren Boebert laid into a few of her Republican colleagues on the House floor last night. The outburst came after the chamber rejected a resolution to censure Delegate Stacey Plaskett due to her links to Epstein. 3 Republicans joined all Democrats in voting no as the resolution failed by a 209 to 214 to 3 vote.
So the vote was to censure this Democrat lawmaker for taking text messages from Jeffrey Epstein during the hearing?
During the hearing, yes.
Why wouldn't you censure?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Why, you're buddying up, you're palling up with a convicted
that doesn't make any sense.
Pedophile to get text messages live during a hearing.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
And
it's not like a censure's not getting kicked out. It's a slap on the wrist.
Exactly.
We don't do this. It's kind of this like in our esteemed house, we don't do this. That's all it is. So
it's like Chuck Schumer coming out with a very concerned letter.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
It means nothing.
Right. So why wouldn't you just do that? Why wouldn't you send that message to future lawmakers? Don't get on the text messages with the pedophiles.
Exactly. What are you afraid of?
Do you know who the Republicans were? I didn't hear this.
I didn't see.
I gotta look that up.
List.
Wow.
Yeah, that's. I don't get it. That makes no sense to me. But evidently, that's why she screamed at him. So
good job.
Maybe we'll. Yeah, exactly. Maybe we'll learn more. All right. Authorities investigating a bomb threat last night that led to an evacuation of Arapahoe Community College in Littleton just before 9 o'clock. Activities and classes were canceled, and local law enforcement is assisting campus police with the investigation. Elon at the White House last night with NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang set to join a discussion on AI today at the U.S. Saudi Investment Forum. Huang also attended the dinner last night at the White House that 47 held for Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Meta has won an antitrust case that was filed by the Federal Trade Commission. Tuesday's ruling by a federal judge says competitors like TikTok proved the tech company does not currently have a monopoly. All right, crazy continues with ICE protesters. What a shocker here. Now in Charlotte, borders are Tom Homan on Fox.
Prosecuted by the federal government. I'd also ask them what they have achieved. What did they achieve in L.A. protests and Chicago protests and Charlotte protests and New York City? What did they achieve? I'll tell you what they achieved. Every time they do this, they achieve more officers are sent to do these operations, more arrests are made, and we flood the zone with more officers. The results of all this foolishness, more arrests, more safety on the street, more ICE officers, they're not going to stop us from doing this. We're going to be there tonight, we're going to be there tomorrow, we're going to be there every day because President Trump made a promise to the American people that we're going to have the biggest deportation operation this country's ever seen. By the end of the week, we'll be at over 600,000 deportation, historic record. And that's just since President Trump's been in office. We're not even counting the first 4 months of the Biden administration during the fiscal year.
Yeah, they just want to create chaos, as we know, and that's what they do best. Texas Governor Greg Abbott bringing clarity to the Council of American Islamic Relations, that's CAIR, C-A-I-R, if you remember that, after they threatened to sue Texas for being marked as a terror organization by the state. Quote, the lawsuits will open the doors to all of their financial transactions and funding and to all of their dealings and misdeeds. The Attorney General will have a heyday, actual leadership from a governor of Texas. And Candace continues to possibly expose a cover-up a day after Charlie's assassination. CNN reported that some students saw a man 2 weeks earlier on the roof where the alleged shooter was positioned.
There were students and allegedly a professor who reported seeing someone on the roof a week earlier. And I think we should try to track down these students. Of course, CNN, which ran this article, which I can show you here, didn't include their names, but here is the article. You can see it was published the day after the assassination, and it reads, Utah Valley University student recalls seeing man walking on or near the Lozzie Center roof twice in 2 weeks. And from that article, it says, the student says that he last saw the person on the roof last Wednesday at noon, a week before the shooting. He told CNN that he reported his observations to the FBI tip line after the shooting, but he has not heard back. The student described the man as tall, skinny-ish white dude with dark hair. He had a backpack on and was wearing dark clothes. He added that the man was looking down at the courtyard area where Kirk's speaking engagement was later.
And then she says he looked like the photos of the alleged assassin. Police say about $200,000 was stolen from Shadur Sanders' house while he was playing against the Ravens on Sunday. 3 people broke inside and spent about 10 minutes stealing items before leaving. Another reason you don't flaunt it. Horrible people out there. It's horrible what happened to him, but his brother's YouTube channel, Well Off Media, does not help in this situation either. Speaking of the Sanders, Dion at his press conference on Tuesday sounded like he would be returning next season at CU.
So I'm please understand, if anybody is built for adversity, I am. If anybody is built for change, I am. If anybody is built to overcome situations and trial and tribulations, I am. You got the right man. I promise you do. And I'm going to prove that to you.
Okay, we'll see. Next year, what happens? Nuggets at New Orleans tonight. Rangers at the Avalanche tomorrow. 32 in Castle Rock, 33 in Westminster, 35 in Denver. You're waking up with Jeff and Billy on a Wednesday. Blake Olson, News Talk 710 KNUS.
A pleasant, mild day on this Wednesday. Temperatures in Denver will reach the low to mid-60s, a mix of high clouds and sun, 30s tonight. Increasingly cloudy, cooler Thursday, highs lower 50s early in the day, turning colder later on with developing showers. Areas of rain and snow mix developing Thursday night, continuing into the day Friday, and cooler. 30s Thursday night, temperatures on Friday only making the 40s. There'll be accumulating snow in the higher elevations and foothills. Temperatures will remain cool, but conditions dry for the weekend. Meteorologist Don Day in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
More and more information about the Democrats' connections to Jeffrey Epstein coming out. Here's a headline out of the Washington Times. Top House Democrat Jefferies solicited campaign funds from Epstein. The latest batch of Epstein files published by the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee includes a solicitation for money from a firm representing House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. In a 2013 email, a representative of the New York Democrats sought to arrange a meeting between Mr. Jeffries and Jeffrey Epstein, the wealthy financier who was by then a convicted sex offender. The firm Dynamic SRG asked Epstein to attend a Democrat fundraising dinner with President Barack Obama. Shoot us an email or give us a call. The email said, if you'd like to get involved with the dinner or would like to get an opportunity to get to know Hakeem better. Representatives of the firm wrote to Epstein. He is an impressive guy who will be a progressive voice for New York politics for years to come. Mr. Jeffries has called for the release of all the government files related to the investigation of Epstein and his cohort, Maxwell. Epstein, had reportedly committed suicide in 2019, awaiting prosecution. Maxwell was convicted of serving as his accomplice and is serving a 20-year prison sentence. Mr. Jeffries' name is among several other Democrats whose in the latest batch of documents show continued to communicate with and solicit money from Epstein, who was a Democratic donor. Bill, how does this strike you? Do you hold Hakeem Jeffries responsible? It was a firm that did this, but seems to have had kind of a personal outreach. This wasn't just kind of a blast email type of invitation.
Yeah. This is one of those where, I dislike people on both sides. So, yeah, I think this is stupid and disgusting, given Epstein's connections and background. But have you heard that he has giant piles of cash? I mean, we have seen all sorts of different politicians look the other way and do other things based on, giant piles of money or things that they can feel they can have accomplished. And again, this is not a fair analogy. I'm saying that up front. But the thing that I come back to is in part, and these are not a direct comparison, but I'm talking about the perception and how things change based on individual politics and perceptions. The idea that during the Biden administration, we were super worried about China, and then Biden was supposed to be working with China, and then Trump allows 600,000 Chinese student visas, almost double of whatever has been issued before. If that was Biden, it would have been, oh my God, he's paying off his Chinese handlers. He's a Manchurian candidate. And there's not as much on the other side. And so, do I think there's necessarily something untoward by President Trump doing that? No, I don't. Do I think he's playing politics? Yeah, probably. But that's what I see this happening. Do I see the same thing in Hakeem Jefferies at this? Yes. Are they at different levels? Oh, yeah, absolutely, because Hakeem Jefferies seems to be personally reaching out to Epstein. So again, I'm not drawing a direct comparison, but what I'm looking at is, depending on where you are, what your motivations are, and giant piles of money in politics, morals and ethics seem to take a back seat so many times. And so I'm not surprised in this at all. I'm surprised we haven't seen more of this. I'm surprised we haven't seen more pictures of Jeffrey Epstein at cocktail parties for both Democrats and Republicans. I'm surprised we haven't seen more trips and junkets. And we were talking about Larry Summers yesterday. I'm surprised he's the only one we've seen that was reaching out for, and I'm using it in air quotes, romantic advice from Jeffrey Epstein.
Just crazy.
Yeah. So these people were all tied in on certain layers, and the filth is just a varying number of degrees. And I think that's why at the core, we talked about it earlier, why everybody was so against releasing the files. And then when public pressure built, they're like, well, of course we'd reach them. Of course we would. Why would we ever vote against it? Hang on here. Yeah. So yes, absolutely. Hakeem Jefferies is a little bit dirty on this one. Absolutely. And the thing is that I don't think Pelosi would have been dumb enough to have reached out herself. I think, if she was in that power position, she would have had the second or the third person inside of the House reach out rather than doing it herself. I think she would have been strategic enough to go around and understand that minefield, but I don't give Hakeem Jeffries that much savvy as far as his strategic ability. I don't like Pelosi, but strategically, can't argue with her. The same thing with Mitch. I don't like Mitch McConnell, but strategically, dude was a freaking genius as far as Congress.
It was interesting yesterday at the Denver GOP. People were talking about how you and I read through Larry Summers' emails.
Oh, really?
And how shocking it was that the one thing he's still doing is teaching students.
Yes. That is crazy.
When he admits in these emails, and the reason he's stepping away is he was conspiring, is like the best word I can think of, along with Jeffrey Epstein, to woo a mentee, which sounds almost like a manatee, but it's not.
Yeah.
A mentee into bed.
Yeah. And so the idea is someone that has come to him for guidance and help, and he is trying to manipulate that relationship into something romantic. That sounds a heck of a lot like a student-teacher relationship at times.
Yes.
A heck of a lot. And the one thing that the school gives him is, you're still good with the kids. Hang on here. Last time I checked, when you're in the high school, middle school area, and you got something that you've been doing something naughty with the kids, they remove you from the classroom.
Yes.
They removed, and that's the idea. Is the one thing he keeps in
universities will remove you from the classroom.
Yeah, I know.
But the one thing Larry Summers did was roll back his public speaking.
Yeah, exactly.
This is wild.
Thanks.
And this whole thing is going to be searchable.
I like that idea. I do. I do like that. Because then again, you don't have to necessarily trust narratives. And there were some things, and I'm not going to bring back this as far as a topic on the show, but there were some things when early on when the Mueller report was released, and I went, people are just telling me this and this and this. I'm just going to go read it. And after about the first 6 pages, I'm like, oh, okay. And then went through it and had to go through it a couple of times. And the back end's a heavy lift because it gets into lots of obstruction and took a while. But the front part, I'm like, oh, okay. So I appreciated the fact that I at least had the ability to go and just read what everybody else was telling me about. And I think that's going to be a huge plus here, in part because there are going to be a lot of people that have questions out there. They're going to do searches. We had yesterday where we talked about the search that you can do for the bills here in Colorado as far as how often they do. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. All right. Well, join the conversation. What do you expect to see coming out of this? I mean, is it going to be equally damning for Republicans? At this point, a lot of the emails show connection, even conspiring, taking place between Jeffrey Epstein and the Democrats. If you look at the author, Michael Wolff, if you look at the Democrat lawmaker that was taking text messages from Jeffrey Epstein during the hearings, Hakeem Jefferies inviting Jeffrey Epstein to a fundraiser, Larry Summers in a personal friendship with Jeffrey Epstein working to try to bed his mentees. So far, the files look pretty damning of the Democrats. Do you expect to see similar stuff coming out about the Republicans? Or is it just going to fall with the Democrats? Give us a call, 303-696-1971, 303-696-1971, or text us on the Dan Caplis Law text line at 720-819-5115. Let's talk Black Eyed Pea. Next week is Thanksgiving. I love Black Eyed Pea Restaurants of Colorado, locally owned and run by Steve and Michelle. There's 8 locations all around the Denver metro area, so there's sure to be one near you. You can make it a family night. Take the whole family out to eat at the Black Eyed Pea Restaurant. With Thanksgiving next week, you can be thankful that you don't actually have to cook, but only if you don't want to. The Black Eyed Pea will be open on Thanksgiving Day from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and will be serving all of your holiday favorites, roast turkey and stuffing, glazed country ham, slow-cooked pot roast, and your choice of 2 sides. For dessert, choose between pumpkin or pecan pie or the cherry cobbler, perfect for the whole family. And as a heads up, holiday catering is available if you're doing that family gathering at home this year. So you can take some of that stress by getting great home-cooked, locally sourced food delivered to your house.
I'm jumping in here because this is what I got to tell you. Here, we got Thanksgiving coming up next week. There's someone in our audience that it is your first time hosting that Thanksgiving dinner. And you've got family members that have been doing it for years, and you know there's going to be a bar you have to set. They're going to have some conversations like, I knew she couldn't do it. I knew this family wouldn't be able to. We didn't. That's not like what we did. They're going to judge some of what you're doing, or it's just the fact that you've never done the turkey before. Now, if you want to blow the socks off of your family the very first time you're hosting Thanksgiving, you make a call to Black Eyed Pea, and then earlier in the morning you go and you pick up all the stuff, you bring it back to your house, you put it into the dishes, you put the foil on, you put it back in the oven, you keep it warm, and then you wow everybody when you throw it down on the table. You and your significant other are the only ones that need to know how you pulled it off, and it's your little secret. And then you got rep with the rest of the family. I'm just saying, if it's your first time out, second time out, last year didn't turn out so well, do their holiday catering, takes away the stress. You don't have to worry about it. Everything's prepped, and it's your secret. We won't tell.
They'll deliver for you. They will absolutely deliver quality food for you.
Yes, everybody around the table is going to go, how did you do this? You've got to give me the recipe. How did you? This is incredible. Every single person. So if you need that rep, you need those bonus points running into the holidays with your family, this is the solution. Take away the stress. Don't worry about showing off to everybody else. Black Eyed Pea will do it for you, and you don't have to worry about cooking. It's the best deal in town right now. Take it.
Black Eyed Pea gift cards are always perfect for your spouse, birthday favors, or holiday presents, or a thank you to someone special. Give them a gift card. My family, the entire family, especially the kids, love this restaurant. I know you will as well. Keep it in Colorado, locally sourced. Make it Maha with Black Eyed Pea of Colorado. All right, we'll continue with your phone calls and texts. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's Talk Leader, News Talk 710, KNUS.
Glad to have you back with us. Good morning. You've tuned into the Jeff and Bill show. Bill, did you see this viral video of Denver officials pouring bleach into a taco vendor's food? This was wild, man. It was, she's walking around and you have these open tubs of food and she's got a bottle of bleach and she's dumping the bleach into all the different food areas, and it's gone so viral to the point where they've actually had to come out with statements and defend what they're doing. This in the Denver Post. Denver health officials defend an inspector's decision to pour bleach into an unlicensed taco vendor's food over the weekend after a video of the incident spread on social media. Two health inspectors approached a table operated by Tacorado. It's supposed to be a play on Colorado.
Yeah. Okay. Tacorado, I don't know.
How do you say that? Tacolorado. There it is. Tacolorado.
All right. Good job.
Near the intersection of Evans Avenue and Colorado Boulevard on Saturday evening, health officials had previously cited the vendor and thrown out its food for failing to follow various food safety rules. According to inspection reports reviewed by the Denver Post, when inspectors approached Saturday and asked for the food to be destroyed, the vendor placed some food back into the truck, prompting one health inspector to pour bleach into the remaining food, according to a spokeswoman for the Denver Department of Public Health and Environment. The incident was caught on video, showing the inspector dumping the chemical into plastic containers of food on a tablecloth-covered table. Though uncommon, using bleach to intentionally contaminate food is a tool inspectors use to ensure the food can't be served later. It's a tool that we don't really use all that often because we prefer different methods, but from time to time, it's necessary. The health department also provided images from the Saturday inspection showing a thermometer stuck into meat that showed a temperature of 54 degrees.
Ooh.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Another image showed a trash can filled with water with a trash bag partially covering it, which Williams said was used by the vendor to hand wash.
Oh, that's not sanitary.
The inspectors had previously approached Tacolorado's staff twice. Both in late October, the vendor was given 2 cease and desist letters, and inspection reports show it was dinged for failing to have a hand washing station, for improper sanitation, and for temperature concerns, among other alleged issues. The food was being prepared in a residential rather than commercial kitchen, which carries further risk. More than 145 pounds of meat and food were disposed over during those 2 interactions, the agency said, and the vendor staff cooperated with inspectors. Tacolorado has also received multiple cease and desist letters and administrative citations. But when inspectors arrived Saturday night, staff began essentially hiding the food back into the truck, which prompted the inspectors to use bleach to contaminate the remaining food.
Ugh.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, for me, the video is difficult to watch, but as hard as it is to watch, I agree with it.
I do too.
Yeah, I do. And here's why is in my other life, when I'm doing the bar trivia thing, I deal with a lot of food trucks because there's another layer of regulation that bars have to get into once they start serving food, and some of them don't want to. And it's easy for them to bring in a food truck, especially because then that changes what's on the menu every day or every week, depending on how often you're there and when they arrive. Granted, they don't have it daily, but having conversations with these food truck vendors, they want to make sure that everybody else running a food truck is held to standard, because they'll say it only takes you having a bad experience or getting sick at one food truck and you'll never go to another one again. Like, we have to understand that, I talked to the guys It's a Big Belly Brothers Barbecue. Become good friends of mine. And they've just opened a brick and mortar store a couple of months ago. And they talked about how they don't want their business to get harmed because somebody else isn't following the rules. Like, we will lose customers because someone else in this space will do it incorrectly. And so they really want to make sure that everybody else that has a food truck is up to par, because again, it takes one customer one time to think, I got sick at a food truck, and they're never going back because that customer that got sick isn't going to remember the name. That's going to be irrelevant, because already we're somewhat breaking the rules because we're going out into a parking lot buying food off a truck. So that's not what we normally do. So there's some other barriers to participation that exist there. And, if you're going to operate at that large of, a type of restaurant provider, yeah, you're going to have to do things. If you were going to be like, former friend of the show when he was still with us, God rest his soul, Eric Manning, when he would go out and sell his burritos, he was doing that, but he was doing it at a low level. He was doing 10, 11. He wasn't going out there and doing a bunch of them. And so that's something that's in that gray area of the law that is more allowed, rather than going out there and being a vendor on the corner and providing it that way. But on the same hand, though, I also don't want you coming down and shaking down the lemonade stand in my neighborhood, because of what they're serving for whatever they've got there. I don't want you going over there and go, do you have a license to serve the food? I don't care. I already know that if I'm going to a lemonade stand with the kids in the neighborhood, the facilities are already questionable. I'm not being sanitation.
To me, it seems a little different too, between kids mixing powder and water together.
I know.
And then someone cooking meat and serving it to me.
Yes, completely different. Completely different.
Seems a little different.
Yeah.
But I mean, we always ream the state or the city when they step in and try to harass the kids with the lemonade stand.
Oh, always.
But
let them go.
In this case, you look at the reports and you're just like, warm meat, not cooked properly, not stored properly. Your hand washing station was a trash bag with water in it.
Yeah, and that's awful, because once you wash your hands in it, that entire trash can is contaminated. And this is okay. You and I talked about it off the air yesterday. Got out. I needed some quiet time, and I washed the car. I'm a 2-bucket guy, meaning that I got suds in one bucket and I got a rinse bucket. I don't go back in. I rinse it because I don't want the dirt to go back into the soap, because I don't want to go back in there at the soap and have to pull it up again, because that grinds out paint and stuff like that.
Bill, there's machines that do this.
They're not any good at it, especially those with brushes. I don't trust them. Yeah, I do all of it by hand, and it feeds something in my soul that is very important. But the idea that even when I'm washing the car, you understand that the cross-contamination between the two buckets can happen, and that's not even getting your hands dirty and then serving food. You can't wash your hands in a bucket or a trash can and think that's sanitary in any way, shape, or form. And if that was the solution that the person cooking the food had, you have to call into question all the rest of the food preparation as far as what they thought was acceptable, if they thought that was the solution to keep my hands clean.
Text message from 8913: when the health department tells you to throw away food, do it. Once ran a restaurant where we were having an issue one day, and of course, or they're having an issue with their walk-in refrigerator, and then of course that's the day the inspector came.
Oh no, everything's warm.
Made me sick watching them make us throw out so much food, lots of tenderloins and prime rib. This was way back in the 90s, but you got to do it.
Yeah, you do. Because once that hits, I just tossed, we had a defrost issue on our freezer at home just a couple of weeks ago. I lost about 45 frozen mice because they reached too high of a temperature. And you know that because the blood starts flowing. And once I saw that, mice went out, so I had to go order some new ones. Yeah, you got to toss it.
That's not because Bill eats them. It's
that's my snakes. That's my snakes. Yeah, that's my snakes.
All right, we'll continue. We got You Choose the News coming up. You're listening to the Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's Talk Meter News Talk 710 KNUS.
Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill Show. Bill, it's time to give them what people really need on this Wednesday morning. Some You Choose the News.
Yes, it's that time to bring a little bit of silliness into your life. We call it America's favorite fake radio news game show, You Choose the News. I spent just moments this morning scouring the interwebs to find really dumb stories about us humans. It's remarkably easy. We do a lot of stupid stuff. And then I give them even more ridiculous headlines so that we can play this fake radio news game show because those in charge do not awaken until 7 a.m. So we are going to take full advantage of being left unsupervised until the alarm goes off. And as always, we need a fall guy. I mean, we need a cohort in crime. That is Blake Olson joining us from the news department. If this thing goes sideways, it's all his idea. Okay, and as always, shh, this is a secret. Don't tell anybody. We like doing this. Okay, now, gentlemen, here are your headline choices this morning. Headline number 1, for the ladies. Headline number 2, like the Lion King. Headline number 3, think for yourself. And headline number 4, seeing the future. Mr. Hunt, your choice.
Like the Lion King.
Yes, just like the Lion King, you can revisit the Lion King and many other Disney movies during tea time in China. At a tea shop in China's northern part of the country, there is a 4-course afternoon tea offered by a restaurant that's going to run you about $150. Seems a bit pricey until you realize you get a snuggle with lion cubs. Yes.
This is going to be a huge hit.
This restaurant features llamas, turtles, and deer, in addition to you personally being able to cuddle with a cute little lion cub. Now, they do take reservations each and every day because obviously there is a lot of demand for it. Only 20 select customers every day get the opportunity to snuggle with the little animals. No word on what they do with them after they get big and sharp and pointy and start wanting to bite the customers, but that may be in a future edition of You Choose the News. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. How much do you think we could get for people to snuggle with you, Bill?
We'd have to pay people. That's thousands. The problem. Yeah, there's no way. There's no way people would want. They're like, no, we're worried. They would be concerned about whether or not I had my shots. That's the problem.
When I go out to the public, they're all about you, man.
No, they're not. Alrighty. Now, Blake, your choice, sir. For the ladies, think for yourself or seeing the future?
Since we're on the theme of Billy and Snuggly, for the ladies.
I hate you. You're the best. Okay, for ladies, we find ourselves in Rockford, Illinois for this one. A man was reportedly, he was arrested recently after reports of him driving around and creating a scene hanging out of his SUV early this past Friday morning. Rockford police officers were called to 200 block of West State Street just about 12:30 in the morning after receiving a complaint of a man driving a little erratic in his black SUV, driving around in circles, hanging out the window with his rifle. Yes, he was swinging the rifle around and yelling loudly. Officers arrived at the scene and approached the vehicle. A 27-year-old man said, I was driving this car, and they could easily see the Smith & Wesson MP 1522 caliber rifle there on the passenger seat. Now they kind of asked him, and he goes, I was doing that because I hear the ladies like it. He told the police officers he was attempting to have sexual relationships with the women in the vehicle, and he thought this would get them in the mood. He said, don't women like these kind of things? That's an actual quote from the police report. I know.
Where was this?
This is in Rockford, Illinois.
Rockford.
Yeah, I still love the idea that women like it when I wave my guns around.
Yeah,
really.
Sure.
Alrighty,
well, a little tip on that. Do you know the comedian Nate Bargatze?
Yeah.
I was listening. I'm going through his book. He's got a book called Big Dumb Eyes.
Oh, nice.
And he talks about how he wooed his wife with the Little Mermaid soundtrack.
Hey.
So there's other ways to do it.
There we go. Hey, Under the Sea. Okay, think for yourself or seeing the future.
Seeing the future.
Seeing the future. A grieving family recently receives an $8,000 bill for rent after their father's senior living home. He died a month ago, but they need a 30-day out clause. So they still paid him for they still demanding payment for the month he wasn't there. Because how would they know he's going to die? They should have, known. Oh, well.
Giving a heads up.
Yeah, exactly.
You're listening to Jeff and Bill.
KNU.